Welcome back, and today what we're going to be talking about is if you should summon this weekend. That was not what I meant to click on. It is under events. So there's a handful of, well, there's 2 real banners, 3 technically this weekend. There's 3 this weekend, 4 technically. So the Crazy Divine and Crazy Invocation, those are your general 2 times. Those, if you're early on, they're never really a bad thing to pull on. However, we're also going to have this Lord Phineas banner. Lord Phineas and Magda. The epics are kind of meh here. Medan is good, especially as a secondary cleanser for, say, your off team for Guild Boss 2. Cyrene, really good in Arena, but she doesn't really serve much other purpose other than a little bit of tanking and cost regen. And this guy I've never used. I'll be honest. I've used him, but not... I've never really built him. He's been in Esoterius faction trials and just somebody I place. So I don't know much about him. Magda, very good. I use her pretty regularly. I used her in my AMR for the ground units because of her passive. The hero and adjacent tiles and allies within attack range gain a penetration increase of 10%, so ignores 10% of their defense or magic resistance, and a damage increase of 10%. Solid there. And then also she has a knockback, and then when an ally dies within range, she increases her crit damage by 70%. That doesn't averagely happen, and I don't honestly use her for damage a whole lot, but it is handy. She's got a 2-tile range, and her A1 is very good. When deployed, immediately restores 5 cost. This is very handy for places like Arena. A2 attack, sure. A3, after an ally dies in range, attacks 5 more targets for 12 seconds. Alright, yeah, that's cool and all, but that requires an ally death. I mean, that would be really good for, like, putting Cerberus in front of her, or Aatrox. That would be an interesting use for that. That might actually be a use for her in Conqueror Codex. I might have to try that out next time Conqueror comes back around. Penetration 8%, and then A5 during the ultimate increases attack speed by 100. So her awakenings aren't necessarily bad, but they're not out of this world. Her A1 is probably her most important, and it's solid. So now on to the new unit of the banner of this weekend, or I say this weekend, it's starting on a Thursday, but it is Thanksgiving weekend. I personally have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I could get some decent amount of content out for you guys. Thursday I'm going to be a little bit busy with family coming over and whatnot, but we will see. So Lord Phineas. Lord Phineas on paper appears to be very good. He appears to be a little bit stronger than Zillatu, I think, as far as damage for, like, boss damage. I don't have him, obviously. He hasn't out on the global server yet. I don't have him on the Forerunner server, and I don't have access to the test server. So all I can do is base my thoughts on his kit and what other people have said. Other people have built him up. He was hyped unbelievably high before he got his banner preview type thing. His range has apparently always been this 1-tile range. Everybody was thinking his tile was like 4 tiles. I don't know why that came out like that. I don't know the details behind that. All I know is this has apparently always been his range. I didn't personally look on the Forerunner server, but apparently that's the case. So he does magic damage. He does not do physical damage. That's something I was not aware of at first. So that is interesting. That compares him a little bit closer to Zilla because she also does magic damage. But basic attack, 110%, 120% damage to one enemy. Cool. His ultimate deals with his passive, which we'll come back to that, I believe. Yeah, we'll come back to that. So his passive number 2 is Blade of Treachery. Basic attack has a 25% chance to deal 180% damage and inflict a stun on the target. This chance doubles during his ultimate. Cool. Stun for Guild Boss 2 could be very handy. And it does have this 4-tile range. However, this can only be triggered off of a basic attack or his ultimate, which is also basic attack, I believe. So ultimately, for the most part, this is just 1-tile range until it's during his ultimate, which it does increase his range to that. His second passive increases penetration by 5% for each burning effect on the target, stacks up to 5. That goes up to 7 and up to 7% penetration. So solid. I don't think he's adding burning himself, but let's go over the talent. So when an ally uses their ultimate, the hero gains 1 stack of Viscount's Flame, up to 5 stacks. Now this apparently was only Infernals. Now it is every ally, not just Infernals. So that's cool. Viscount's Flame, what that does is each stack increases crit damage by 25%. So this can go up to 5 times 25. That's 125%. Yes. Yeah, 125%. I believe. I feel like I'm double guessing myself. Yeah, 4 times 25 is 100, and add another one, that's 125. So 125% more crit damage on top of whatever you build him as crit damage in general. So this additionally grants a crit damage increase to the ally if they belong to the Infernal Blast. So this crit damage increase lasts for 20 seconds, and it is a 25% crit damage increase. So this would help Zilla 2 for 20 seconds. If you're running an Infernal team with Hex, this would help Hex for 20 seconds when they ult. This is very good and just beefs up Infernal teams to the moon. I mean, you figure, what's his name? Twin Fiend, when he ults, his ult lasts a very short period of time. So this could very well make Twin Fiend do really good damage too. I obviously haven't tested him, so this is all speculation from me. His cost is 23. Is a bit expensive. So let's see. Now his ultimate increases attack by 40%. Great. And then doubles the effect of Viscount's Flame. This makes Viscount's Flame stack up to 250%. 250% extra crit damage. So if you build him 350, that puts him up to 600 crit damage. That is insane. Sorry, got a little off track there. So it doubles the effect of Viscount's Flame gained by the hero while increasing the attack range. He adds 2 more tiles in front. Upon activation, deals 600% damage, burst damage, 1 time to 1 target in range. Then changes to a ranged attack and removes all stacks of Viscount's Flame when the ultimate ends. So that burst damage goes up to 800%. The attack percentage goes up to 50%, and the cost goes down to 900. Now that is somewhat expensive, but that is definitely worth it. We could get a little preview of this here. That was his burst damage, and then he just does like this, shoots out this little blade of damage. From what he sounds like he's going to be very good. Let's see. But this is one thing that I haven't looked at, his max stats. 7,200 attack, that is huge, especially for a magic damage or magic melee unit. That is, I think, the highest magic melee unit we have. So that is unique. Very high HP too. He definitely seems to be a unique unit. Block of 2, that's normal. So the attack interval is 2.6 seconds. I believe that's right around the same as Zilla 2. Let's see real quick. Zilla 2, hero details. Yeah, 2.6. So he'll have around the same attack interval as Zilla 2. I'm not going to worry about his awakenings in this video. We'll do a full review on him. I mean, hey, if I pull him, sure. This isn't actually the banner that I was looking at pulling on, though. The banner I'm looking at pulling on is the Nascent Summoning banner. And I will go over that, and then, well, what we'll do is, the Nascent Summoning banner is, it guarantees a brand new legendary. Not one that you've pulled and then sold off. Somebody who has not been lit up in your gallery of the normal summons. So, like, I have Luguru here, who hasn't been summoned. I can't pull him through the Nascent Summon. He's an ancient only. Same with Ymir here. However, let's see. Kaniza here. I could pull her. And I actually have Fastidious website pulled up on the other screen. I'll bring that over here soon to kind of show who I could pull from this. I am going to pull on the Nascent Summoning banner. My pick of legendaries is not the greatest, but I am still going to pull on it because I want that new one. So should you pull on the Lord Phineas banner? That is a question on how your roster is looking. If you already have your 50k in Guild Boss, or if you don't run an Infernal team in Guild Boss, you don't have Twin Fiend, you don't have Soul Cadence, you don't want to deal with Pyros, then no, I wouldn't. If you're not running an Infernal team anywhere, Lord Phineas, he's great, but he really shines in an Infernal team. In just a regular general setting, he's a fighter with 1 tile range. I mean, what's her name? This chick, Estrid. Estrid is technically more useful than him because she on, I guess, Awaken 1? Yeah, Awaken 1, she gets 2 tile range, so she can go behind a tank. The one thing that is about Lord Phineas is he has very high HP. So let's see. He's just under Jira level HP. So he could act as a little bit of a tank himself, but he only has a block of 2. So he'd have to be killing the enemies really quickly. That is one caveat about him. But if you aren't running a Infernal team anywhere, I would not recommend pulling on this banner. He is very good. And I mean, here's the thing. If you have every other legendary on the banner, in the game, and you're like, I just want Lord Phineas to fill out the Pokédex, I would say pull the Nascent Summoning. I think he should be in the Nascent Summoning pool. So he has a possibility, he should have a possibility of dropping. Or if you have everyone else, it would guarantee you him instead of having a shot at him. You could pull on this and you could always off banner. That's always a possibility with these games. So the Nascent Summoning banner, this is what I'm going to be doing, and this is what I would recommend most people do first. If you aren't planning on summoning a ton, which I wouldn't recommend it. If you are close to pity, I would recommend just summoning on the Nascent banner. We don't know what's coming up. I will say that much. We don't know what's coming up next week. We don't know what's coming up the weekend after. Gwendolyn will probably be coming back around Christmas time. I haven't been giving any information on that, but that's just my guess. We do have leaks of a Sun Wukong limited time hero, but we don't know much about him. He looks like he's going to be good according to the leaks, but those are leaks. We can't base our thoughts on that. The Nascent Summoning, however, I will bring this on over, and according to everybody that I have, I am guaranteed a common bucket hero on my Nascent Summoning. because I have all of these rare units. Now, the only units I don't have are Seraphina, Magnus, Kineza, Glacius, Trusk, and Xeris. I would prefer Glacius or Xeris, to be completely honest. I wouldn't mind Kineza. I wouldn't use her, but these two I might use. Magnus, I don't really care, but sure, if I pull them, whatever. Trusk, same thing. And Seraphina. Seraphina, I've never used her. I don't know how good she is, but I am guaranteed one of these 7 units, technically, because Lord Phineas is not here yet. So I can't sit there and go, hey, maybe I'll get I could get one of 7 units, I believe. So you have to decide for yourself on what is in your roster, and if you think that any one of those would be good for you that you don't have. You could be missing somebody like Hatsu, and I'd say if you are, yeah, sure, you don't have a super high possibility of getting it, but there's still that possibility, and you're taking all the other units that you've already gotten out of the pool, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. So that is one of the things that I would say. If you are running a Infernal banner or Infernal team in Guild Boss, the other thing that you have to take into consideration is, are you running too many ground units? Because a lot of the time, and if we look at the leaderboards, so this Infernal, they're running an Infernal, and they're running a Nightmare. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 ground units. Now, obviously, he's cycling some of these units. He's Laurel cycling. But where would Lord Phineas fit in? You'd have to take out probably Lust or Twyla. And in his case, it would have to be Twyla. Like, would he really want to take out Twyla for Lord Phineas? Would he do more damage than Twyla? Who knows? Same with this team. Same general team, same setup. This team's Piercers. This team right here. So he's got Zillatu in here. He would have to, in this case, probably take out Zillatu for Lord Phineas. And because there's only so many ground tiles within range of Dolores. And that's where you're going to get most of your damage. Now, when Beelzebub comes out, that may be a different story. At that point, we may be able to fit more ground units in, and we may be able to run somewhat different comps. But until then, unless you're running a Constance in here, which I'm sure some people are, yeah, see, Constance here. This person's running a Constance, and Kigiri, but he's still only running 3 ground units, not including Constance, obviously. So you're very limited on the amount of people you can fit in there. And Guild Boss 2, honestly, Infernal comps just aren't really the meta. Not to say they're not good. You could definitely use them. They're great for guild bosses. But until he gets into the hands of more people, we won't really see him excel. So if you're very curious about it, sure, go for it. And there's also those handful of people who just summon every weekend. And if you're one of those people, you throw money into the game and you support it, hey, more power to you. I appreciate it, because that allows me to keep playing the game without having to put tons of money into it. The more people who are putting money into it, the better the development of the game should be. Now, I say should because that's not always a one-to-one calculation, depending on how greedy or non-greedy the developers are, or how much overhead they have. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just how business works. And end of the day, this is a business decision on these games. They do not make these games just for free, just for them to be there. They make these games to make money. I can't blame them either. I mean, money is what makes the world go around. So if you are just one of those people who pull the pool, go for it and let me know. And also let me know what you think of him when you pull him, because I am very curious. Like I said, I'm going to pull on the Nascent banner. If I hit that extremely early, maybe I'll pull a legendary on that banner, but I doubt it. I'm only at 22k diamonds. I have, let's see, 64 summons there, and I am fresh on pity. If this counts towards pity, I am fresh. If it doesn't, I'm 8 in. So either way, there's a good possibility I'm doing 100 or 200 summons, probably tomorrow. And I really don't want to go 400 summons. I don't think I have enough to go 400 summons. So I would have nowhere to use him. If I get him, I will test him, but that's only if I get him. Speaking of testing, I will be testing here soon Beatrix in various damage positions, and I am also going to be doing just a kind of damage test in Gear Raid 2 with the reworked Kai, because I've done that, and I'll do an updated guide of all 3 of the gear raids. I know it's been a while since any guides have come out, and we could be getting new players into the game, so I will do an updated guide on those. I'll try and get those done ASAP. I need to find some of the more beginner friendly gear on my account, so that'll be the hardest part of that. But that will be future videos. One other thing that's coming in the future is I have now pulled enough soul stones, the unpolished soul stones, that I could bring my Kigiri to A3 for his very broken A3. Now, I am likely going to do this before I hit my Guild Boss 2 run this week, because my last week's Guild Boss 2 run was my highest yet, and I got 106k. So I was very close to that 120k, and I think A3 Kigiri would put me over that cap. So I will be recording that when I run it, as long as I don't wait till last minute. But I'll be doing those runs, and that'll be the next handful of videos to come out. I do have a video that I recorded on Sunday before I did this run of just me crafting some gear. So that'll be coming out after this video, because this video is more pressing to come out. But after that, it's kind of a splat of videos. I'll have a summoning video that will probably come out on Friday that I'll do tomorrow. And then on Saturday, hopefully, as long as everything goes well. I know I've been a little bit busy and a little bit behind schedule with a handful of things, hence the video from Sunday that I still haven't edited. But if everything goes well, I should have content coming out the next 4 days, hopefully. So if you want to see that, definitely subscribe, like it, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next ones. Bye.